Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, the money just won't come? It seems like the harder you try, the further away it becomes, as if there were an invisible barrier preventing you from prospering. But what if there were three simple words that, when used correctly, could completely unlock this financial flow? It may seem far-fetched until you learn about the story of Joan Ginther, a woman who won the lottery 4 times and accumulated over $20 million. This raises an inevitable question: was it just luck, math, or is there something behind it? In this video, we'll explore how certain words, when used with emotion and awareness, can influence your mind and open the door to surprising changes in your financial life. If you've heard of Helen Sell, you know she believed in the power of the mind to win competitions. The connection with the law of attraction is closer than it seems. Let's talk about manifestation, mental reprogramming, and how small phrases, when truly felt, can bring real results. When someone wins the lottery once, it's easy to think of luck. Twice is rare. But 4 times? That's exactly what happened to Joan Ginther, a Texas math teacher who won huge jackpots between 1993 and 2010. The total amount exceeds $20 million. Coincidence, statistics, or an unusual mindset? Joan's story intrigues experts to this day. Some say she used mathematical formulas, others bet on pure chance. But others see a more subtle pattern, a kind of silent conviction, almost as if she knew she would win. And herein lies a little explored possibility: did she access, consciously or not, some method linked to manifestation? Helen Sell also defied logic. She believed she could win competitions using only the power of her mind. And she did it often. Both she and Joan seem to have something in common: unshakable confidence. When we look at it through the lens of the law of attraction, everything starts to make more sense. Perhaps it's not about magic, but about a specific way of thinking, feeling, and acting. Many people repeat positive phrases every day, but don't see results. This happens because words alone don't change anything. What really matters is the emotion that accompanies what you say. When feeling is involved, language accesses deep levels of the subconscious, triggering a true mental reprogramming. The subconscious doesn't respond to logic, it responds to what you truly feel. If someone says, "I'm rich," but deep down feels fear, doubt, or scarcity, the message sent to the brain is contradictory. It's like trying to accelerate and brake at the same time. The result? Nothing moves. Manifestation depends on the coherence between what is said and what is felt. Joan Ginther, Helen Sell, and so many others who used mental manifestation methods seem to have understood this intuitively. They didn't just say what they wanted, they felt it as if it were already real. This is the true power of words: when aligned with the right emotion, they cease to be loose phrases and become commands that rewrite reality itself. Many people are frustrated with the law of attraction because they think it's enough to simply wish. But true manifestation happens when there's coherence. This means that thoughts, emotions, and even bodily actions are all pointing toward the same goal. When there's misalignment, desire becomes just a stray thought amidst the mental chaos. Joan Ginther may never have spoken openly about spiritual or mental methods, but her background raises an interesting hypothesis. She may have cultivated such profound certainty that the universe itself arranged itself to confirm her conviction. This isn't just blind faith, it's a kind of trust that shapes perception and influences choices, even unconsciously. When the mind strongly believes in an outcome, it begins to see the world differently. Opportunities appear, signs are perceived, and decisions are made with greater clarity. Manifestation doesn't happen because something magical falls from the sky, but because the subconscious finds pathways that were previously invisible. It's like turning on a flashlight in a dark room. Helen Sell became known for winning dozens of contests and sweepstakes throughout her life. She didn't use tricks or play with statistics. Her technique was mental and emotional. She wrote down exactly what she wanted, felt as if she had already achieved it, and maintained her focus with discipline. This shows how manifestation goes far beyond superficially wishing for something. A striking detail in Helen's accounts is her emotional repetition. She didn't just think positively, but also repeated specific words, like mantras, charged with emotion and intention. This wasn't done mechanically, but with sincere dedication. The mind, when exposed to this kind of consistent language, begins to shape reality based on this new internal vibration. Both Helen and Joan show that simply wanting something isn't enough. You need to create a mental routine, almost like a daily workout. Words aligned with the right emotion act as a code that the subconscious understands. The more focus and feeling we put into these repetitions, the more the external world responds. That's when the impossible begins to seem natural. Behind the manifestation lies a brain function that science is beginning to better understand. When you repeat words with genuine emotion, you're creating new neural pathways. This means your brain begins to recognize that thought as something possible, even natural. The mind begins to work based on this new internal information. Another important point is the reticular activating system. It acts as a filter that selects what your mind perceives in the world. When you say and feel something repeatedly, this system begins to capture situations, people, and opportunities aligned with that. It's as if the brain becomes a radar for everything that matches your focus. Furthermore, sincere emotions generate chemical reactions. Trust, for example, releases dopamine, which increases motivation. And when internal dialogue is positive, alpha brain waves are activated. This state favors learning and suggestion, making the subconscious more receptive to new beliefs. Emotional repetition isn't just spiritual, it's also biological. When it comes to reprogramming the subconscious, less is more. Long or complicated sentences create internal resistance, especially if the mind still doubts. Therefore, the most effective words are short, affirmative, and in the present tense. They don't explain, they don't ask, they simply state with conviction. And that makes all the difference in the result. Phrases like, yo ya gain, I choose to be a millionaire, or, I live in wealth, work because they're direct. They speak clearly to the subconscious, as if what you desire is already happening. There's no room for doubt or hesitation. When these words are repeated with feeling, the brain begins to accept them as truth, and then seeks ways to make them real. These short expressions are like seeds planted in the mind. With emotional repetition, they germinate and create a new internal vision of who you are and what you're experiencing. Simplicity isn't a lack of depth, it's a strategy. After all, the subconscious best understands what is clear, direct, and charged with sincere emotion. There's no point in repeating words in a rush or distractedly. The mind needs to be receptive. Therefore, the first step is to relax the body. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and enter a state of calm. This is when the subconscious opens more easily. When you are present and calm, words have more power. The key isn't just repetition, but the emotion involved. As you say the phrase, imagine in detail what it represents. Feel what it would be like to experience that result right now. Visualize the money coming in, your life changing, the feeling of relief and joy. The more real the scene is to you, the more your subconscious will treat it as truth. The best times to practice are right after waking up, before bed, and during quick breaks throughout the day. At these times, the mind is more sensitive to suggestion. Repeating 3 times with emotion is worth more than repeating 100 times automatically. When you make this a sincere habit, you begin to build a new reality from the inside out. There's something sacred about keeping what's being built internally to yourself. When you share your manifestation practices with people who don't understand or doubt you, you risk weakening your own energy. Silence, in this case, isn't a secret out of fear, it's a protection of your intention. By avoiding unnecessary comments, you free yourself from the influence of skeptical looks, jokes, or unsolicited advice. Sometimes, it's not even the other person's malice, but simply their doubt that interferes. The subconscious is sensitive, and any sign of uncertainty can create cracks in the manifestation process. Remaining silent preserves the power of the practice. Furthermore, discretion strengthens your commitment. When no one knows, there's no external pressure, only your own connection to the goal. This deepens the sincerity of the repetition and makes the ritual more powerful. Think of it like a garden you're cultivating in secret, the less interference, the stronger and more beautiful it blooms. Joan Ginther never revealed details about her methods for winning the lottery so many times, but what's clear is that her success is an example of a deep alignment between mind, emotion, and action. She demonstrated such firm conviction that fear simply had no place. This is crucial for anyone who wants to consistently manifest prosperity. What sets Joan apart from many others is this absence of doubt. When the mind is rooted in certainty, the body and subconscious follow suit. This mental state creates a kind of internal radar that identifies opportunities and avoids the pitfalls of insecurity. And that's exactly what these 3 words help build, a solid, focused foundation. Even if you don't know exactly what words she used, you can start cultivating that same alignment today. Choosing short, affirmative phrases, repeating them with emotion, and maintaining discipline are simple but powerful steps. Joan is living proof that manifestation works when focus and conviction become unshakable. The first step to manifesting prosperity is to choose a simple phrase, in the present tense, that speaks directly to your desire. Something like, "I am prosperous," or "money comes to me," is a great start. The important thing is that this phrase resonates with you and evokes a positive emotion. Then, create small daily rituals. This could be when you wake up, at coffee time, or before bed. The key is repetition done with intention and pleasure. Avoid turning it into an obligation or a source of anxiety. When practice becomes a pleasurable experience, the subconscious receives the message more easily. Pay attention to internal resistance, those voices that question or sabotage you. Instead of ignoring them, observe them with curiosity and work to understand where they come from. With patience, it's possible to dissolve these emotional barriers and open space for manifestation to flow. Small changes in your daily life already indicate that something is truly changing. Many people who start using short, emotionally charged phrases report tangible financial changes in a short period of time. This isn't a coincidence, but rather a reflection of an internal transformation that alters the way they see and interact with the world around them. Manifestation happens when the mind and subconscious work together. A common pattern among these accounts is that external life only changes after something changes within the person. When the subconscious stops resisting and begins to cooperate, doors that were previously closed open. Situations, contacts, and even intuitions emerge unexpectedly, almost as if the universe were responding to an internal command. The speed with which these opportunities appear can be surprising to beginners. This shows that the process depends not only on conscious effort, but also on a fine-tuning of thought, emotion, and action. It's as if, by aligning all of these elements, you create a magnet for prosperity. Manifesting prosperity isn't a magic trick or a stroke of luck. It's the result of genuine coherence between what you think, feel, and do. When these three forces are aligned, the words you choose become powerful tools capable of transforming your life in concrete and lasting ways. Knowing which words to use, when to say them, and, most importantly, feeling the emotion that accompanies them makes all the difference. It's this combination that unlocks the flow of abundance and opens doors that previously seemed unreachable. You have the power to create this reality for yourself, you just need to start acting with intention and faith. Now that you know this method, how about getting started today? Share your experiences, leave a comment, and become part of a growing community, united by the pursuit of a prosperous and fulfilling life. Change begins within, but it doesn't have to be a solitary process. Now that you've discovered the power of the three magic words and how to align mind, emotion, and action, the question remains: what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let this opportunity pass you by, or will you start transforming your financial reality today? Reflect. What emotions do you feel when you think about your prosperity? It's time to reprogram your subconscious with phrases that reinforce your confidence and worthiness. Remember, the universe responds to consistency, not scattered desire. Are you ready to take charge of your life? If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any valuable tips that will help you manifest the abundance you deserve. Together, we will build a strong community focused on prosperity and real growth.